Hello VC, it's Jerry with Dark Side Vinyl with my video response to a thread started by KrisEric over at Vinyl Voyager. I saw his video and I saw, I believe, Rachel, the music ma'am, um, posted her response, and so I wanted to go ahead and get in on this action. It looks pretty interesting. He has, I think it was 12 questions, and there's a bonus. I guess it's not a contest or anything, just a thread and show your albums. So the first one, and I'll list the description and the link uh, to his channel in my description. So the first one says an album cover that you're not clear to the casual observer of basically what it is or who it is. And I chose this one. So how does that look? Does that look maybe psychedelic? Maybe. I already knew what it was when I bought it, but I definitely would have bought it thinking, if I didn't know, thinking it was psychedelic. Well, it is not. It was actually the dank defunk blend of jazz, kind of funky jazz fusion. There's the other side of that, and it's a beautiful green vinyl. Check that out. Deep. So there's the first one. That's a great album, by the way. And I just found out, just a little useless information, I found out that I actually know a guy that knows the person who curated this. He works at the same radio station in Nashville. Is it Nashville? Yes. And he works at WXNA in Nashville. So, big whoop, right? Anyway, number two, a cover that reminds you of something else. And I chose The Mamas and the Papas, which is Farewell to the First Golden Era. And when I first, every time I see this, actually, um, I think of the bus that was in the movie, which actually it's a real bus that looks almost exactly like this, from the movie Into the Wild, where about the young guy who decides to ditch everything and go and live in the wilderness, off the grid, in Alaska, and ended up dying in a bus exactly like this that was several miles into the forest. I mean, it was a really good book, and then a good movie too, but heartbreaking, you know, to think such a waste. I think he was only 24, but anyway, you got to check out that book or the movie, Cliff Notes, whichever you want. So that's what that reminds me of. Another one. Okay, number three is a disturbing cover. Now, before I even lift this up and show you, I found this a few weeks ago. So after all of this, the racial inequality stuff started blowing up and everything, I was looking through. I was at a indoor kind of vendor flea market kind of place in Tennessee, and this booth had there was nobody in the booth. It was one of those where they're all marked, you know, and they just take it up to the front and then they give them the money later on. Um, they were only all these albums were only $1, and I still was tempted to pass this up because of the cover alone. I didn't notice the cover at first. What I noticed was the name that I noticed right off the bat, right on the cover. And then I started looking, turned it over and started looking at the songs. And I was like, oh, yeah, these are great songs and everything. And but then for some reason, then I turn it back over, and then I see the cover, get the full picture, and I'm like, ooh. I mean, I immediately cringed, and I was like, whoa. And I showed my wife, and she said that for no other reason that I should get it, because somebody else might not have actually, because I actually looked it up on my phone and started doing some research on it before I completely ditched the idea. And I was trying to find out what this is about. And it was an art film. I'll go ahead and show you now. I've talked enough, but I will explain. It was an art film done by Neil Young. And you see the cover now? So I cringed. And it was a film called Journey Through the Past. It says a film by Neil Young. And it has several performances in there. But then even the back has these crosses there. It's got Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Buffalo Springfield, Neil Young, the Stray Gators. So it has some really good songs on here. Ohio, Southern Man, Let Me Call You Sweetheart, Alabama, Let's Go Away for a While. But my wife was saying, let me finish. Sorry. My wife said, somebody else that won't even look, they'll, or know anything about it, might just buy it just to destroy it. So just for, almost like for posterity's sake, you should get it. And so I did. I actually went back. I had walked away from it. I was like, I just can't do it, because just having that in my collection, anytime somebody sees that, I'm going to have to explain it. It's like I don't want them to think that I'm some sort of racist. So that's my disturbing cover. Number 4, favorite simplistic cover. And I chose The Alarm, Strength. And it's just this, grayish, almost looks like a tile type with just the name, the name of the band, and then just like that red splash of color. It's like I guess it's a cannonball is what I get from it, or a bullet possibly is what it. But the back obviously has the group, but I chose it for the front. Just this, plain box looking thing, and it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't scream, but it does strike my interest. But so that's the one I chose for that. And okay, best and worst from a favorite artist of yours. So I'll start with the bad news first. Of course, we're just talking about the covers now. The albums are a totally different story. So personally, out of the ones that I have, which I have several, this would be the worst in my opinion cover for U2. Just the distorted, it's almost like you could look at it this way and it looks like something else. I just kind of like, I don't know, it just doesn't really do much for me. That's just my personal opinion. And in my opinion, it looks like Bono got a little better into the deal. You can almost recognize him better than anybody else. I don't know who was in charge of picking that out. Just saying. And the best has to be the Joshua Tree. Iconic, beautiful scene. I mean, that just makes me want to go there so badly. Of course, there's the Joshua Tree. It's just, you start to hear the music, hear the songs, just by looking at that cover. So I always love this. And I love the way that they all look in this one too. And just the black and white, you know, it's just a really fantastic cover. I love it. Cover with basically just the artist's name. Eagles, The Long Run. Okay, it's got the title of the album too, but it's supposed to be all black. Mine's a little beat up. Sorry. If you want to give me a brand new one, then okay, I'll take it. Stop twisting my arm. Okay, a cover that makes you smile. See, I'm already smiling. Andy Griffith. Look at that. I mean, that smile right there. And if you've ever watched any Andy Griffith, I mean, it's just good, wholesome entertainment. Something that we need a lot more of, it seems like, these days. And it's this album is just for laughs. This album is hilarious. If you've never heard his routine of what it was football, go look that up on YouTube when you finish this video and do yourself a favor. And I think if you just go ahead and do it. I mean, it's worth it. Romeo and Juliet is another one. That is another. But this cover makes me smile because I think of these routines. I remember them, and I just remember how hard I've laughed, and then just seeing when you look at somebody smile like that, it makes you want to smile. So let's all smile more. I know I need to smile more. And then we go down, a cover that makes you sad. And this one really does make me sad. I mean, because of my thoughts behind it, not the cover so much, but Prince, because of the tragic end of such a fantastic talent. And the other part that makes me sad about this is that when he died, I was actively seeking, I mean weekly, if not daily, looking for tickets to go on to see him on tour. My wife had tickets in the late 80s to see him. For some reason that way before we met, and for some reason that concert was postponed, and she could have seen him later at a later date, but she said she got so angry with that she just got her money back. And you know, she was just, it was like, I guess it was like a last minute kind of cancellation, and she got really frustrated and angry, and she just like, forget it, I don't want to go see him now. So she never did go and see him, and she loves him. I love him too. I mean, I love his music. He's got some great talent and great songs. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, I want to get tickets for us to go and see him. And so I started looking, and could never get it. He wasn't going on tour yet, or it was like he was doing this weird piano tour, and I could never find out a date that would work and get things, you know how it is, trying to get things to work. And then he died, and I was like, I was devastated. So we never did get to see him in concert. So that's why that one makes me sad, really sad. Okay, now we're right back up again, the roller coaster. I wonder if you did this on purpose. Christmas in July. Okay, I'm not a big Christmas music fan. I think I've mentioned in one of my videos before, and my kids have, and my wife have given me a hard time about that. They all love Christmas. It's a long story, but anyway, I have several Christmas albums, and I do play them. I give in and play them for, for my family and everything, help try and get me better in the mood and stuff. But anyway, I received this one as a gift a year or two ago, when I first started, I guess really letting people know I was into albums. And so this is the one I chose for my Christmas. Josh Groban, and he has a fantastic voice. This is a really good Christmas album. Noel, if you didn't see it. Now, going down again, the roller coaster. Worst album cover. Once again, all subjective. This is a single. Say. Look at that drawing of these two. I showed it to my wife when I decided to pick I was trying to narrow it down, and she was like, "Oh, you got to go with that one." I mean, look at those legs. The way they drew him in his face. He just, and it's not like they were trying to go on the cheap. They got a picture on the back. Why'd they do that? I mean, I don't know who. If you were responsible for this art, I'm sorry, but no, it's not good. An artist debut cover. Mumford and Sons. Their debut, still in the shrink there, but I've listened to it plenty of times. You'll see it's open. But that's their debut. Fantastic album. Love this album. Listen to that a lot. Number 12. We have a cover that is pleasing to look at. And I chose Christopher Cross. Once again in the shrink. And there's the back. And the reason this one's so pleasing to look at for me is it reminds me of my home in Florida. It reminds me of, a tropical, reminds me of being on vacation, and also I have a dream of getting a sailboat, or maybe even restoring a sailboat, kind of like what's his name in Shawshank Redemption. They're getting this piece of junk and fixing it up and learning to sail. And I kind of have a dream. It's since way back, but that reminds me of that. That's why I chose that cover. It's pleasing, and and I love the song Sailing. I mean, obviously that goes right along with my dream too. So, all right. And the last one, this was the bonus. Your favorite Beatles cover, and this will be favorite, obviously, that I own, that I have. It's not that great shape, but you get the gist. And that's Revolver. I really wish that wasn't there, but I just love that artwork. My wife, when I showed it to her, she kind of she didn't like this one. She was like, she started picking things out. Oh, what about that? What about that? And I was like, it's not your choice. It's mine. I like this. There's the back. But I just love that line drawing. I just think and then the way that they mixed in, almost like the mixed media, with the real photos in there and stuff. It's very interesting, and I like to look at it. And of course the album. Man, that's a good one. Alrighty, so that's my response. If you haven't already, I would appreciate if you subscribed, liked my videos, and let me know, what you think of my choices. If you think I'm kind of out there, if you thought, hey, those are good choices, whatever, just let me know. All right, have a great day, and don't forget to keep on digging. Now that we can, sort of, maybe, get back out in the crates. All right, bye.